Hi guys, welcome to There Is Still Hope, a place where we encourage people to move from their past sorrows, defeat and discouragement and move on to live a better life. Thank you for joining us. Today we'll be interviewing the founder of There Is Still Hope, Miss Ndalenga, and in today's sessions we will be interviewing her on her experience during therapy. Welcome Miss Ndalenga to your own channel. Can you please introduce yourself and tell us why did you choose the name There Is Still Hope?
Thank you so much for having me. Well, as you heard, I'm the founder of There Is Still Hope. I didn't choose it. God gave it to me to give hope to the hopeless. He comforted me to comfort others, and He gave me hope to give hope to the other people. Reason why it's called There Is Still Hope. So I'm out here giving hope to the hopeless, giving hope to those who are discouraged, people that have lost themselves, or probably thinking that there is no hope for them again, just to tell them that there is still hope.
So as you give hope to the others, there are also other professions that also help people to continue their journey by giving them hope as well. As we said at the beginning, we'll be interviewing you on your journey at the therapy. So just tell us, what was the circumstances or events that led you to seek therapy?
Well, let me just say I was going through quite a lot. I was going through the toughest times of my life. I was not doing well, both emotionally and physically. But I think I was convincing myself that I'm okay, that there is nothing wrong with me. But I started noticing a lot of change. I was just not okay, but it's because of the situation that I was going through. Later, I noticed that it was manifesting in my attitude, it was manifesting in my character, it was manifesting on my body. I was living in denial. I thought I was okay. So I'll find myself sleeping, waking up in the middle of the night. I'll find my heart racing. My heart will be pounding and really beating very fast, to the point of feeling like I'm losing my breath. So that's when I noticed that something is not okay and it's getting worse, because I tried ignoring it and it's not going away. I didn't tell myself that, no, let me go to therapy. I went to a doctor because I wanted this raising of my heart to end. I wanted to sleep peacefully. I didn't want to wake up in the night and struggling with the panic attacks. So getting to the doctor actually asked me, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. She noticed that I was not emotionally okay. So she's like, okay, I understand you have these panic attacks, but some of these things comes because you are going through something. So she actually referred me to a psychologist. She asked me, would you like to have someone to talk to? And then she's like, I can refer you to a psychologist. She kind of like gave me different options. And then I'm like, yeah, any psychologist is okay. She's like, okay, I'll refer you to one. So that's actually what led me to a psychologist. She noticed that what led you to the panic attack is something that you are dealing with, and you should open up and actually find help.
Considering that you were referred by the doctor, how did you feel about the referral?
Well, I must say that it was not an easy one for me. Looking at my background, I'm a believer. I believe in prayer. Even culturally, you don't just get to open your life challenges to everyone, especially to strangers. So that came in as a big challenge for me, because I thought, why would I go and tell a stranger? I would rather talk to my mom, or I will talk to somebody closer. And the other thing as well, I had very little information on what psychology or therapy really is, what they entails, or talk less of what to expect from them. For me, then I thought it's just people that you would have to go to, and then you open up your life and you tell them. So those are the two big challenges that I had. It was a struggle. I didn't even get there immediately. Maybe after a week, that's when I considered going, even though I was given the address and the recommendation letter. It was a challenge within me. I really had to kind of like rely on the fact that she told me that, you know what, you need to speak to somebody. And when you speak to somebody, they will help you perhaps how to process your emotions and how to process whatever it is that you're going through. And this may stop the panic attacks.
Ms. Ndalenga, walk us through your first therapy session.
My first therapy session was not an easy one. Like I mentioned, I had a misconception about therapy. I had little information as well. So getting there was nerve-wracking. It was like coming into a new world. It was a very new thing for me. And when I got to the practice, the therapist was welcoming. She was nice, I would say. She invited me into the small room where she does the therapy sessions, and the atmosphere was quite calming, and it was one that could calm my nerves. So she started off by asking me, how are you? And deep within myself, I was also telling myself on my way that I will not tell her what I don't want to tell her, and I will not do what I don't want to do. Not a very positive attitude towards the whole thing. And I think she could understand. Perhaps she have dealt with people like me before. And as she was continuing with the questions, I think my nerves started going down, and I was okay, and I was literally starting to open up to her.
So, Ms. Ndalenga, were there any specific challenges you faced while opening up to the therapist, especially during your first session?
Yes, there were quite a number of challenges, but let me mention a few. First of all, I was expecting her to get to the point of my current situation. But I later learned that that's not where she started. She actually started with my background, wanting to understand my childhood experiences, my growing up, how did I grow up, with whom did I grow up, my family, and even my siblings, my relationships with my parents, my relationship with my family. And that actually got me wanting to put up a wall, because I realized that there are some undealt things I had in my past that she was actually trying to get into. So as she was questioning, getting me to open up and to talk about some of the things that I actually left in the past and were hurtful. So I found it a little bit hard to open up to her, but she was really kind of not optimistic to say. She made me understand that in order for her to help me with my current situations, she need to understand my past. She need to understand how I was raised. She need to understand how I grew up, who I grew up with, and all that. So I came at a point where I understood, and that's when I started opening up to her. So I would say one of the challenges that I had was opening up and just allowing her in my past.
So after the first session, has your perception about therapy changed in any way?
Yes, it has changed quite a lot, especially during my second session. The first session was hard, as I said. I am not looking at therapy with the same light. To me, they were just people that are trained to probably sit and listen to my problems. But I've also realized that in society, especially men nowadays, and not only men, even women, many of us don't have anyone to speak to. We don't feel free telling people what we are going through. Reason why we find ourselves depressed and really going through a lot. So to me, therapy is like a doctor of emotions. Someone who is trained to help you process your emotions. Someone who's trained to actually help you, not only with your emotions, but all other things. They are also trained to understand human behavior. So they help us understand how we think, how we come up with the different perceptions that we have, how we deal with everyday life. Yes, I'm a believer, I'm a child of God, and I also believe that that is one way that God led me to be helped. Really, therapy is helpful for me. When I first went to therapy, I expected them to get to the point. I'm having this situation. This is what I'm currently going through. I need you to help me process this. But I was amazed because she didn't just help me process that particular problem. She also helped me with others that I didn't even know there was need to attend to them.
So after all the different sessions that you've had with therapy, that I believe you're still doing therapy because it's a continuous process.
Yes.
What aspects or impact or what stood out for you during therapy that has an impact in your life or that you still do to improve your day-to-day life?
One of the aspects that stood out for me was the fact that what we are going through today is not all there is. Some of the problems that we are going through today are actually fed by what we have gone through in the past. Our past issues, our past traumas, our childhood experiences have actually affected our present today because we have never dealt with it. Say, for example, when I was a child, when I don't get what I want, or when somebody has made me feel bad, I throw tantrums in my childhood. You will find adults throwing tantrums today because throwing tantrums worked for them in the past. Whenever they throw tantrums, people listen to them. So not dealing with your past makes you to throw tantrums in your adulthood, thinking that it's going to solve the matter. Why? Because you've never dealt with it. It could have worked for you when you were a child, but when you are 30 or 40, you can't throw tantrums. So this is what psychology helps us process. They help us notice what is the coping mechanism that we have picked up in our childhood that we are still using today and might not work and might actually be affecting our relationships. So that is one of the things that stood out for me, that my past can actually affect my future. It can affect my present.
Considering your background and belief, there are people still that are hesitant to go see a therapy. What would your advice be?
When I have a problem, spiritual problem, I reach out to my pastor or someone I consider as a spiritual parent. And if I have something wrong with my body, I go to a physician. I go to my medical doctor. I also believe when something is wrong with me emotionally, I should be able to go to a psychologist because they are trained in that aspect. So I would really say, don't be hesitant to go to a psychologist. Therapy is not only for problems. Therapy is not only when you're going through a rough time. When you feel like there's a change in your behavior, go see therapy to understand yourself. Therapy helps you process and navigate through life. And you find yourself having some struggles. And they can also help you with your goals. You don't know how to go about it. You don't know where to start. They can assist you. And they don't tell you what to do. They don't tell you that this is the way to go about it. They just give you a broader understanding for you to know how else you can actually go about solving or getting out of your issue or your problem.
As the name of the channel, There's Still Hope. In life, we all have different people that need us to help us live this life because of the many struggles that we face. As individuals, we should not sit in our homes, in our offices, struggling with life because there are tools around there to help us navigate this life. So seek help and do not suffer in silence. From me, Maggie.
And me, Ndalenga.
Please do subscribe to the channel and see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.